How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to the Next Go Wins TV. Coach Javi here, and we just got done watching Tottenham against Manchester United in the EFL Carabao Cup. Wanted to talk a little bit mostly about Manchester United. Tottenham, I think we kind of already know where they stand. Big Ange is not going to change his ways. They're not sitting in a great spot in the table, but that's kind of Tottenham's story. So we'll focus on Manchester United because it's only been a few games now that Ruben Amorim has been the manager for Manchester United. It's about time that we really start analyzing his playing philosophy, his playing style. He still needs a lot more time than I think he's had, but at least we can start getting an idea of, will it work? When will it work? Does he need to change a certain amount of players? Who does he need to change? And all sorts of stuff. But we'll base all of that on the game today. Obviously, Tottenham walking away with a 4-3 win. Very, very entertaining match, specifically the second half. Obviously, kicking off the second half, Tottenham scoring a goal pretty early, then making it 3-0. You would think that Manchester United, no way back, and then all of a sudden, the only Fraser Forster makes it easy for Manchester United to get back into the game. So that's where I want to start off today's video. I want to talk about this match as the battle of bad goalkeeping. So as for Manchester United, you had Altay Bayındır, who's the second choice. Obviously, this is the EFL Cup, so they wanted to give him this match, and then they keep Onana in the league and all the important competitions. And then Fraser Forster is in there because Vicario has been injured, so that's why he's there. If you look at their ratings on FootMob, Fraser Forster with a 4.0, Bayındır with a 3.5. A lot of the goals were goalkeeping mistakes, specifically the ones for Manchester United, and even the Tottenham ones. Bayındır, first one, parries it right back to Dominic Solanke. I think you have to blame the defense for Manchester United. They're all literally 5 or 6 players caught watching the ball, as Dominic Solanke is the one that follows it up. And then the goal at the end that gave Tottenham the win is a goal that should never be scored at that level. And Bayındır, I think, felt so bad that he's complaining at the referees that Lucas Vergval gets in his way and touches his arm or whatever, but you should never give up those goals. So besides the two goalkeepers, the bad performers, I thought there was two specifically. Archie Gray, obviously he's not a center back. They put him there, and then Big Ange wants to play out of the back, which makes no sense when you're putting somebody there as a band-aid fix just for this match because you're running out of players. I mean, he even said that he needs everyone in the roster because they don't have anyone. He's pulling kids out of school. He's literally giving notes to the players to get out of school so that they can play in these matches.
We've got no choice for, like, who else am I going to, like I say, I'm pulling kids out of school. I literally am, I'm getting notes from their teachers saying, young Lucas has missed another day of school, So
if you have to make those adjustments, you have to adapt your philosophy. I think that's where Big Ange gets it wrong. You cannot play out of the back, especially when the momentum has shifted. Manchester United's making a huge comeback, and then all of a sudden you're still trying to play out of the back with Archie Gray and Fraser Forster. So that's one big area that I think Big Ange needs to sort out. But besides Archie Gray, I think Anthony, I have no idea, in my honest opinion, I have no idea how this man convinced the team to pay $100 million for his services. I didn't really know him too much at Ajax. I know he was rated highly at Ajax. He did really well in the league. He's come here, and ever since he's come here, I've not seen him do a single difficult thing. I've seen him score goals. I've seen him get assists, but I've never seen him show me something that says that he's worth $100 million. I mean, even in today's match, trying to muscle off Dragusin just completely gets knocked off the ball. No real danger. I think he might have played one good through ball in behind. But besides that, not only is Anthony not the answer, you can't put him in a position where it doesn't suit him just to play in that system. So you guys know Ruben Amorim playing in that 3-4-2-1, likes to play with that box in the middle. You cannot put Anthony in the box in the middle. The only position in which he'll have some sort of an effect, I think, is going to be as one of the wing backs. And obviously, Dalot, Mazraoui are the two wing backs, and I think those two players actually fit that style and that formation pretty well. But Anthony is just, he's got to go. He's one of the players that needs to be replaced as soon as the January transfer window opens up. So let's talk a little bit about Rubens Tactics. So why is the 3-4-2-1 such a popular formation? We see it with Xabi Alonso. We see it with Manchester City when they're in possession. We see it with a lot of upcoming managers that are playing a very modern style of football. So here's a couple of the benefits of this formation. First of all, with the box in the middle, it gives you an extra player to find centrally where typically most teams are playing with 3 midfielders. So even if they try and mark up, there's always going to be somebody free in possession that you'll be able to find. And the key is trying to find those 2 players at the top of the box. So those 2 10s, trying to find them early because that's what's going to cause a lot of problems. By the time that they get the ball, then you have the wing backs, Mazraoui, Diogo Dalot, they're all pushing up and you've broken a big amount of pressure from the opposition. When that doesn't work, then you have the wing backs, so Mazraoui and Dalot, who can pop out all the way out wide and be able to get the ball out wide. Because you would typically have like a front 3 in between the 2 midfielders and the 3 center backs, it almost creates triangles in the midfield and out wide for you to always have an option to be able to play out. Depending on the movement of the players in possession, the 3-4-2-1 makes a lot of sense for teams who are going to have the ball. Where it becomes a problem, in my opinion, is when you don't have 2 really good number 10s. Because if you don't have 2 really good number 10s, you're not going to always be able to find that extra player. And when you do find that extra player, they're not going to be able to create as much as somebody who's a little bit better technically. So for example, I'm an Arsenal fan. Manchester United could use Martin Odegaard. Obviously, I would never want Martin Odegaard to leave. But if you had Bruno Fernandes and Martin Odegaard as the two 10s in that system, I think it changes so much for Manchester United. That's why I think the January transfer window is going to be so important, because Manchester United is going to have to spend some money. The other main difference, specifically in this match, that I think if you would have switched one player from Tottenham over to Manchester United, I think Manchester United wins the game, and I think it sets them up much better for future games. Again, just thinking hypothetically here, but Dominic Solanke, if you had Dominic Solanke as the number 9 for Manchester United, you automatically create a lot more opportunities, and not just create the opportunities, you finish a lot of the opportunities. I think Højlund is essentially like a poor man's Haaland. He needs players to give him service. He needs to have creative players underneath and out wide for him to be able to get opportunities in the box. Once the ball gets into the box and he's around the ball, I think he does a pretty good job of finishing. I don't think he's world class, and I think you don't need somebody who's world class, at least right now, because you're not going to be able to find someone in the market that's going to be willing to go to Manchester United. But I just think Dominic Solanke is a perfect player for that system. When the chances are created, he will put them away, and you saw that in tonight's match. So that begs the question for me, is Ruben Amorim's style going to work eventually? Is the 3-4-2-1 the right system? Does he need to change it? Does he even have the right players? I think he needs a January transfer window. I think the fact that he's got Lenny Yoro back, and Lenny Yoro was honestly very good today. I thought he looked so calm under pressure. He looks very good in possession. He made some really good tackles, and I do think he's a player that's going to cement his position as one of the 3 center backs under Ruben Amorim. Without changing the entire squad, because that's also unrealistic, I do think Mazraoui and Diogo Dalot are 2 players who are probably going to keep their positions, and I don't want to go player for player. That's not what this video is about. We can do that in another video. But when we go back to the question, I do think his style is going to work. I've seen that formation be very successful as long as you can have the right players to do it. I think the problem with that formation is he's so open about his tactics. Everybody already knows exactly what he's trying to do, that teams are going to make it very difficult. I think of Atalanta versus Bayer Leverkusen in the Europa League final, where Xabi Alonso had been playing that formation that whole year. Finally, Atalanta, a team who plays a little bit differently, figured it out. They just basically man-marked all across the field. And when they man-marked across the field, it was very difficult for Xabi Alonso to find that free player in possession, which allowed Atalanta to be the better team. I just think of teams in the Premier League, once Manchester United starts getting going, and once they've been playing in this system with the right players, if I was a coach from one of the other Premier League teams, I would study the tape on Atalanta versus Bayer Leverkusen to see exactly what needs to be done if I want to combat that formation or that system. But Manchester United has the base of players. They do need to spend some money in the transfer window, but I am a big supporter of Ruben Amorim's tactic. Besides his tactic, his personality, his managerial style, the amount of media that this man has had to do since he joined Manchester United is unbelievable. Every single day I go on YouTube, I see 3 or 4 new interviews with Ruben Amorim, whether it's the press conferences before matches, whether it's Manchester United's own YouTube channel, whether it's like a third party or a different news source covering him. It seems like that man, when he's not at the training facility, when he's not sleeping, he is doing an interview, and it's absolutely unbelievable. Some of the questions that they're asking him, specifically about the fact that he dropped Marcus Rashford and that he dropped Garnacho for the last game. The way he handles it with such class. And although I'm an Arsenal fan through and through, I do believe as a coach that I want to support other managers that are really good people that I feel like can be successful. I want him to do well at Manchester United, not because I want Manchester United to do well, but I want him to do well because he's a good manager and he's a good coach, and ultimately he's a good person, and he understands how to deal with the stress, the pressure of being at Manchester United. We'll see how long he's able to do that. And to answer the question, at the end of the day, yes, I think Ruben Amorim's style is going to work as long as Manchester United, from the back end, off the field, the financials of it, they're willing to spend a little bit more money to make it work with him. But it seems like that's what they're going to do. Let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think, and we'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.